said earlier on, we are going to be dealing with HTML and CSS. So all we need to, let's delve into business. Let's go. So we said we are going to deal with HTML first. And HTML simply means what? That's a markup language. So let's already explain what HTML means. So we use HTML to structure the skeleton of a website. That is text and put in images, shape the images, whether round, circle, or in which form we want to shape it. And this is what HTML. And after that, we use what CSS. Then to style it, you want it to be round shape, you want the color background color to be red, you want it to be blue or green, then you can do that using what? CSS. So let's talk about this HTML first. So in HTML, let's see, we have elements, let's see, text elements. Text elements in CSS. In HTML, rather, sorry. Text elements. So in text elements, we have what we call header, which is, we have header, which is represented with what? Letter H. And we have header size from header 1 to header 6. We have what? Header 1, header 2, up to what? Header 6, H6. And what you need to know about headers is that the bigger the number, the smaller the text size. Let's see, when you choose header 1 to header your text in HTML, header 1, the text can be like this. So if header 1 is like this, then header 6 will be like this. So what you need to know is that, and header 5 will be bigger than header 6. What you need to know is that header 6 is the smallest. Header 6 is the smallest. Header 5 is bigger than header 6. Header 4 is bigger than header 5. Header 3 is bigger than header 4. Header 2 is bigger than header 3. Header 1 is bigger than what? Header 2. And that's it. So if you choose header H1, then if you choose H1, then your header will be very big. But you can also choose H6 and then use CSS to set the size later. But by default, H1 is the biggest, while H6 is the smallest. So that's just what header property. So let's talk about paragraph. Let's talk about what? Paragraph. So paragraph, like I said, paragraph is what? It's represented with what? Letter what? P. Letter P. And that's what? Paragraph. So it's represented with what? Letter P for paragraph. So that one too, it has no more different sizes. It says header and paragraph is paragraph. But you can also size the text using CSS. Yes. So when I'm saying paragraph, you have something called headers and paragraph, like I said. So let's now come to this. Headers. Like, let's say you are going to develop a person, a website, and maybe something like this. Let's say this is our desktop, and you want it to be like this. The header will be here. We'll occupy this space. Let's say maybe navbar will occupy this space. We'll talk about navbar later. So if you are using header 1, let's say header 1 will take here. Then you can group both header and paragraph, and it will all appear or display in the header using what we call our div. Div is a container. Div is a container. So in no container, container can contain different things. Just as normal container, don't think far. Like, it can contain different things. So when I say div, so you can div this a header and a what? A paragraph in one lesson, in one sector. So that if you apply a feature to header, that same feature will apply to the paragraph. And this is how we do it. Like, this is how we do it. When you have your header, let's see, my header is home section, and let me, sorry for not bringing up this. First, we have what we call tags. We have tags, and we have what, 2 tags. Always we have 2 tags, and sometimes it's 1. Like we have element like big. But for that one, we have only 1 tag. And tag is written like this. When you are writing a header tag, the opening tag will be like this. Then let's say you are using header 1, then header 1, then close it. Then you open another one. Then you bring slash. It will just be the same. Header 1, where the slash will come out before header 1 in the closing tag. So this is how we write in tags. This is opening tag, and this is what, the closing tag. And the differences between the opening tag and the closing tag is this slash is the difference between what, the opening tag and the closing tag. So when you are writing the closing tag, you bring a slash before what, the elements you are putting inside the tag, and that is what, the closing tag. So the difference is what, the slash. So this is how we write what, a header tag. So I was talking about this. So when you are to class something, let's say you write your header, you are going to create a header 1. So this is how. So if you write something like this, then you go refresh it, it will appear as this header. Like we write it. This is from this one. Yeah. So this is how it is. So let's say you can write the paragraph like this. Like I said, this is what, paragraph. Then you can write, let's say, take note of that slash. If you just don't bring it and you go to run the code, it will tell you that there's error. This is because of this slash. So take note. Every small point is counted when coding. So this is how it. So I was talking about div. So when you are to div it, I was talking about what, div. When you are to div it, you create the div element, and the div 2 is done like this. It's also just like this one. Then the closing tag, you bring the slash. You have what, div as open, then slash div as closing. So this is how it is done. So then you bring these 2. This is what header, and this is what paragraph. You bring it in between the divs. So this is how you write it. This is how you write it. So if you div it like this, then when you are to apply any property to this header, it will apply to the paragraph too automatically, because they are in the same word container. Like just like when you put 2 things into a container and then you pour water into the container, you cannot be expecting the water to target only one element, because the container contains 2 elements. Yes. So just like that. Let's say you are applying text color to the header and you are targeting the div. It will apply to both the header and what, the paragraph. So if you div it like this, we have something that we used to identify, and that is what, class. And class is right like this. When you are coding, class is like this. Just class, then you have this. Then you can put in the class name here. So if you div this in, this is a container, right? But when you are to style it, you have to mention the name of what you are going to style. And we haven't named this div, and we haven't given a name to this div. So you can give it a name by what? Classing it. This is what, you just say div class, then equal to, then you bring this in double quotation. Then let's just class it as what? Header. But you can class it anywhere. I don't mean, but this is what? Header. Let's say header. Then you close the double quotation. Then what? You close the tag. So this is what? You have classed it. So when you are to style it, when you go to the styling sheet, you put a dot. Then the class name is what? Header. Just put dot. Header. Then you open what? Curly brackets. If you are to style, you put it inside curly brackets. When you are styling, you put it inside what? Curly brackets. This is how it is done. We are not talking about CSS here, but I'm just explaining what div and class did. This is what it does here. So this is how it done. So let's talk about something. I hope you have understood the class and the div and the header and the paragraph. I want to target both HTML and what? CSS. Let me just make it short for you. But in our subsequent lessons, I'm sure I'll explain it into details. But this is just what we do. So when we say CSS simply stands for what? Hidden style sheet. This is what CSS stands for, CSS. So like the style simple explain it, but let me just throw more light into it. CSS is used to what? To style our elements, to style our codes, to make it look more beautiful by adding colors, structures, the form you want it to be. Let's say text, you want it to be bold, italic, underline, you use for CSS. CSS also have a tag. Like I said, don't forget our tag. CSS, like just closing and open tag. CSS, we start using an element called style. So when you have to start a pose, when you have to start a setting pose, you bring the opening and the closing tag. You bring the words, the opening and the closing tag of CSS, and this is what style. So then in between the opening and the closing tag, you put what? You put in your stars. So inside here, when you have to tag it, like we said earlier, we class the div as what? Header. So when you have to start the header, you put your dots here. Don't forget about that dot. Like I told you, if you just miss one thing, it will define your code as what? As error. So you have to put the dots here and say what? Header. So we are starting what? Header. A div class for was header. Then I told you bring your curly brackets. Then don't forget to close the curly brackets too. When you are done starting it, you have to close it. So this is our open curly bracket and what? The closing curly bracket. So between them, then you can now style it. We are styling what's header. So if you are styling, CSS have elements like when you have to apply a color to the background, you use is what? Background color. You guys say what? Background dash color. This dash is important. So like I told you, then you bring semicolon. You have to bring the semicolon. Semicolon here. Then you write the color you want. Let's say red or blue. Let's say red or blue. So blue. If you do it like this, then you bring this. So this is done. If you go to your to run the code, the background color will apply to the header, and the header was targeted with what? Both the paragraph and the H1, and it will draw a container around it, then give it a color, a background color of what? Blue. So when you want to change the text color, the text itself, not the background, you use what? Just color. You just write color. Then I said don't forget about this. The semicolon is very important. Then you bring your semicolon. Then let's say white. This is how it is done. See, HTML used to structure, then CSS used to style your HTML sheet. What you just need to direct that. Learn how to create a header. Learn how to create a header. Learn how to create what? Paragraph. And learn how to do what? To create what? Tags. And that is what? The opening tag and then the closing tag. CSS tag is what? Style. And one more thing, how to add background color, then I have to add what? Color to the text. And I hope this is enough. At least you have learned something. Like I told you, it's just going to be a gradual process. So today we said, so just stay tuned with the home tech, and you learn everything bit about HTML and what? CSS. And in fact, everything, all what it takes to do what? To develop a website. You learn it from what? The home tech. And we are not going to be targeting only website development. Everything about computer, we will be teaching it in this platform. So don't forget to subscribe to the Home Tech. Join us in YouTube, join us in TikTok and other platforms, Facebook and all that. And if you have challenges, you can contact me. I will leave my contacts on the screen. Then you can contact me maybe for any course or anything, any help. Maybe they've given you projects, you want me to help with the project. I'm ready. Thank you for your time and have a great day.